Hey guys, it's Mike the Wrestling Gunsmith. Sorry I didn't send my Rey Mysterio video in. This one I'm doing a much better one. The other one just felt rushed. It felt like I couldn't think of any more things. So like I said, my real thing, I think Ray being in AEW is gonna be great. I think that there's so much opportunity for him because AEW is like the promised land, and I'm telling you that I'm thinking he is going to have a faction with the Lucha Brothers. They are going to be the Lucha family. I think that he is going to get a shot for the TNT title. I think that he's also going to get a shot for the AEW World Heavyweight title, maybe the FTW belt, maybe in the near future, but I'm not sure because Brian Cage, I'm really not, and maybe I'm really thinking he could be. I really think him. I think there should be a trio faction. I really think there should be a new faction in AEW because AEW, as much as everybody gives it a lot of crap and I don't, AEW is actually doing the opposite of what WWE is doing, and they're actually doing it better than they are. Which means if we get this is kind of like a basically like a benchmark to see if CM Punk will come. See if they can get him, it means if they can get Ray, they can get CM Punk. And I'd rather CM Punk being trying to go in, and I really think he should be in there. I think he should be in AEW to say what he wants to say, to do what he wants to do, just like MJF. I think him having fantastic match with Dark Order and Brody Lee, I really think that's a great future for him. I really think him having matches with Cole Cabana would be fun, because Cole Cabana is he's a fun, lovable guy. But I even Jurassic Express. Like, I really want to see if he could take on Luchasaurus, though. I really do. I've always wondered, like, what could he, like, because there's so much opportunity that I think he's going to do and he's going to develop. Because he's a massive, big talent. He's a legend in the wrestling business. I think him being perfectly there, I think Taz and Excalibur are going to talk a lot of stuff about him, a lot of good things about him. And I think him being there would be nice. It's a good opportunity, and that way he can kind of see where he measures up with Cody, because I really haven't really seen him with Cody that much or seen him do anything with Cody, and that's kind of the sad thing, because I really want to see if he can really like wrestle with him, and I really want to see what the AEW is gonna bring to him, because I feel like there's a lot of new storyline opportunities. I feel like there's a ton of stuff he could do. I feel like they're probably gonna put him in a tag team because I really think he should be in a faction with Luchasaurus and Ray, and I kind of want to see if they're gonna do that with them because I really got a gut feeling they will do something like that. And I'm thinking it's a good idea. It's a great idea. It's a great idea for a point. I think it's gonna solve a lot of problems. I think in reality, it's going to solve a ton of AEW's money. I think they're going to sell tons of merch. And ultimately, I really think it's going to be a good show. I really think he's going to do something. I think he's going to do something that's going to be worthwhile. Because I really feel like this is the thing. And I know you guys are going to quote me on this, but I'm kind of explaining this a little bit more in depth because I didn't really get to think about it. Maybe Ray being in AEW isn't such a bad move. Because think about it. He's been in the WWE for almost 15 plus years, and I'm thinking he's done everything he could do. I'm thinking that the WWE doesn't know what they can do with him except Seth Rollins, which is a great rivalry, but it's not a new storyline. It's just a storyline that's probably going to get stale after a while. And the only thing that's keeping it fresh is Dominic Mysterio, which I think he's going to be a full-time WWE superstar. I really think he's going to get that chance to be one. Because I want him to be all elite, bro. I want him to be AEW Rey Mysterio. Like, I want to see this dude with the colors. I want to see him with his heel run. I want to see if he'll go heel. I really do. And this is in WCW where he's gonna get all the short dudes and he's gonna get all the dudes from Canada. There's gonna be a tons of opportunity for him. And I feel like Chris Jericho being there will probably get Ray and probably get Chris an idea about what he wants to do. He shows up at the next pay-per-view or something. Like, he shows up and it's great. He shows up, it builds that tempo. He shows up, it's gonna change AEW's numbers to nothing. See, and that's what I'm saying. It's like AEW, as much as we've seen the past in a little bit of a year, a little bit of a year, we've seen them do a better version of a women's tag team title thing competition, a better style, a better version of the TNT belt, and even a better heavyweight title match, which is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. You literally have like a bunch of dudes from every company coming to AEW to play with the big boys, and the thing is, they're not WCW. There's no Eric Bischoff in it. There's no Tony. There's no Bruce Pritchard. There's no. Literally, there is no. Russo, and that's the problem. When there's a Russo in the mix, that's why WCW folded, because of Vince Russo. If it wasn't Vince Russo trying to be like his thing from WWF, and that was the problem. WCW's idealism that they wanted to be where the big boys play, it wasn't a lot of big names. It was literally dudes that they could have signed or they could have did better with, but didn't. They had Dean Malenko, and Dean Malenko was probably the greatest wrestler I've seen, and Chris Benoit, and Chris Jericho, and Eddie Guerrero. Like, bro, how do you take Eddie Guerrero from being the dude he didn't say nothing until it was later in the years. He was very green. He was very green. Yeah, Kevin Nash and Hogan messing with this. And Jericho's not the Hogan. Jericho is like Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but he's got his own faction. And they don't need more people. It's 5 with them. It's great with them. They're messing up stuff. He's becoming a great commentator. The dude literally shows up like he's God and people are singing his song. That's how crazy it is. And as much as we really think, and I'm thinking with the Ray situation, I think him having I agree, rivalry with Chris in the Inner Circle would be good. That means he can take on Butcher and the Blade. That means he can do more. That means there's so many opportunities. He could take on the Revolt and give them something to do. That gives them a good storyline. He could deal with the Elite. He could deal with Kenny Omega, and Kenny would love the match. That's why he doesn't want to go to the WWE, because he won't give him the matches that he craves. The amazing matches, the rivalries that he wants to create with the greatest of all time. That's why he's the greatest wrestler of this generation, bro. And I'm telling people, and I'm not just making this up, I'm telling you, Ray is going to be fan. And this is not a prediction, this is a spoiler. I'm telling you. I mean, this is not a spoiler, this is a prediction. I'm telling you, Ray is going to kill it in AEW. And he could take on Murder Hawk, because that gives Lance Archer something to do. Instead of him taking on Joey Janela like it's nothing. And I've seen Lance Archer against small dudes and Marco. I want him to be there, bro. That means if we get Ray, that means we're going to get CM Punk. That means we're going to get dudes we didn't think we were going to... We might even get EC3. I mean, really, this dude could really walk in and go in AEW and be the greatest talent ever to walk this earth with MJF. I want to see the rivalry between EC3 and MJF. I wouldn't even be mad at the heel rivalry. I would be even excited about it. I'd be ecstatic. Because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Really, there is nothing like it. I think there's probably one thing in the world better than anything else. And I've seen a lot of stuff over the years. There is nothing like it. Literally nothing like Rey Mysterio coming to AEW is gonna blow. It's gonna blow everybody's mind. And something they could have did with him, and I'm glad that he's going. And I was going to talk about him and Ray going to AEW is the best news I've ever heard, the best decision, and I'm glad he did everything he could do. Him being in AEW is probably going to be so much. He probably will be he probably won't even be a long, but he will have an excellent title run. He don't got to deal with Batista. He don't got to deal with Eddie. He don't got to deal with nobody. It would just be him John, it would be Chris, it would be Hangman, it would be Kenny, it would be even Matt if he decided to go after the AEW championship. It'd be even Lance Archer if he decides to. Because the more talent for them, the more he can get the rivalries out of. And I'm thinking, like, I'm really kind of thinking about it long term. I think AEW is going to beat the crap out of the WWE with the main roster. I think they're going to beat them. Because the problem with the main roster is that they're so stacked with talent and they take more from NXT to bring them up. And, like, when they want to make their mark or they want to be champion, they can't because somebody else is already champion and trying to get their streak going. And like I said before, not saying I don't want to do it. Not saying I don't want to be at the end of the road with Ray, but I think he's going to be a great champion. I think he's going to be the greatest thing ever, and I really think at the end of the day, guys, like I said, and this is just, I'm not going to talk so long, but I'm just saying, this gives Ray a ton of potential. I think he's going to make a faction. I think that's his first move when he gets in the AEW. Is to make the faction instead of Lucha Brothers, it's going to be Lucha Family. And it's going to be the greatest faction ever created by him. But anyway, comment, like, subscribe. Peace.